Photo School free. I have my apple now.
Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Jordan, jpcopenphoto.com, YouTube channel Photo School Free. In this video today will be about shooting your DSLR camera manually. Okay, so as you can see, I don't have hair anymore, so let's address that real quick. I got rid of my hair. I didn't want it anymore, so I chopped it off. So now I have no hair. So okay, now that we're past that, the first thing that I want to talk about is, obviously this video is about shooting your DSLR camera manually, so I want to talk about your DSLR camera. First, let's go over a couple settings. You're going to want to make sure your camera is in manual mode. Okay, so the first thing we need to know to shoot our DSLR camera manually is how to set the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. The white balance isn't too important right now. I'll get to the white balance later, or you can go and watch my other video on white balance, which I will post here. And you can go and watch that, and yeah, and then you'll know what white balance is, and you'll know how to change it. But yeah, just know how to change the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO, and you'll be able to do this exercise we're doing today. Okay, we're outside and the sun is setting, and we're gonna take some pictures of anything that the sun's hitting. For instance, the sun is hitting this wall that I just panned across, okay? The sun's hitting that wall. Maybe you can even see me pointing. I'm pointing to that wall. So if the sun's hitting that wall, that's what we're gonna photograph right now, so you can see what I'm talking about. So your camera should be on manual, and the first thing we're gonna do is change our shutter speed. Our shutter speed we're gonna change to 1/125th of a second. And the reason I say this is because that is usually the lowest handheld shutter speed that you want to go to, unless you really know how to use your camera, really are experienced, and really know how to keep it still. But if you're new to this, 1/125th is as low as you want to go to get a sharp picture. So I'm just going to change the shutter on my camera and let you see how it goes. We're going to change it to 1/125th of a second. Right there. We're going to change the aperture to f11. You can go right here, and then change the aperture to f11. Now I'm going to go to the ISO and set the ISO to 200. The reason I'm setting the ISO to 200 is because this is as low as this camera will go. So if you have a DSLR camera that goes to ISO 200, this will also work for you. So let's change the ISO. Mine is already on 200, but just for fun, 1280, 200. So we have 1/125th of a second, f11 at ISO 200. Okay? Now let's see what kind of exposure we get with that on that wall over there, that white and red sign on that wall. Okay, as you should be following along while we're doing this, you should notice your exposure. Is your exposure too dark, or is it too light? Mine ended up being too light. Now remember that this setting that I'm telling you to set the camera at is just a general setting, so you're gonna have to change it from whatever you want. But the reason I'm showing you this is so you can understand how to change it. Okay, this is gonna help you immensely in your photography to enable you to take photos in all types of settings and areas and everything. Okay, so now mine is too bright. I don't know if the video will pick that up, but it's a little bit too bright. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, remember that the faster you set your shutter speed to, the less light you let in your photograph. So since I'm at 1/125th of a shutter speed, okay, that will let me speed up the shutter and let less light in to make the exposure darker. So let's try that. I'm going to set mine to 1/250th of I'm going to set mine to 1/250th of a second. And notice that gave me the perfect exposure. Okay? And that's what I mean. When you have your camera on manual, you'll be able to set your camera exactly how you want it. It looks daunting. There's a lot of numbers and stuff on the screen and stuff like that, but if you don't focus on those things, if you just focus on aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, then you'll be able to get the photographs you want 99% of the time. There are things that you have to perfect, like you have to learn how to use a histogram, what a histogram is. You have to learn white balance. You have to learn shooting modes like RAW, JPEG, stuff like that. That's all mandatory. All that stuff is mandatory, but the first thing you need to do is learn how to shoot on manual. If you can shoot on manual, the rest of the stuff is cake. So I hope you'd enjoyed this video. I hope it's informative. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If I did, just drop me a comment, ask questions. I will be doing videos in the future with different lighting scenarios and stuff, so you can see that when you go inside, or say like you're inside a building or something like that, the same rules apply. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. Peace out till next time.